comfort zone is a beautiful place, but literally nothing grows there. Over the past 2 years, I've been very comfortable within my boxing journey and my training. I've been training on my own, sparring as I please, meeting different people as I want, and kind of just doing my own thing within my boxing journey. Reason being, I've been comfortable. Answering questions about myself gives me anxiety. Having to perform in front of new people or people that I haven't met before gives me anxiety. Being around people that I don't know very well gives me anxiety. Being alone in situations gives me anxiety. It's honestly a battle within myself, internally, because I'm very much a social butterfly, but I also stress out and think about every situation that I'm in. But this anxiety that I'm talking about has held me back from even trying to reach the goals that I've set for myself. I recently sat down with myself and just had a talk, and I really had to just reevaluate some things. If you've ever been comfortable and didn't want to be comfortable anymore, you know exactly the feeling I'm talking about. It's like an achy feeling within you. It's like there's more that you want. There's more that you can do. There's more that you want to achieve and do and accomplish and push yourself to do. And the comfort zone is not the place for that. My goals within boxing and really in life are not going to be achieved within my comfort zone. For me, I no longer want to be comfortable. I want to push myself as hard as I can and just do my best every single day. I have a choice. I can make this decision or I can make that decision. I can grow or I can stay comfortable. And I've decided to grow. On August 20th, the National Alliance for Boxing held a women's boxing development conference in Atlantic City. And I thought that that was the perfect opportunity for me to thrust myself out of the comfort zone and into the growth zone. Right, kind of nervous, getting increasingly more nervous, but we are here, we're almost there. Hello.
Morning.
How's it going?
Stacia.
Stacia, yes.
Stacia.
Yeah.
Christy Halbert.
Nice to meet you. This conference had all the things that I'm anxious about. Meeting new people, coaches, boxers, training with new people, coaches and boxers. Answering questions about myself or even just talking about myself is just nerve-wracking for some reason. I didn't really know what to expect. I expected boxing, but I didn't really know what to expect. I just went into it with an open mind. I knew the person that was going to be running the boxing part of it was Christy Halpert, or Dr. Coach. She was a pro boxer. She's been a coach for about 30 years. She owns a boxing gym in Nashville, Tennessee, and she was a USA boxing coach in the early 2000s. So the resume, I mean, it speaks for itself. And so I went into it with an open mind, but I was also very excited to be around these types of individuals, people that have walked in the shoes that I want to walk in, that have done some amazing things within boxing, but also within leading.
So what we're doing, first off, we're going to do a warm-up, and then we're going to talk just a little bit about the scoring system. We're going to shadow box. We're going to play a game together, and then we're going to start our partner. Does that sound good? Okay. All right, switch ready. Box! Think about what the judges are looking for. Try to keep it mid-range and long-range. So go. Step that around.
The training that we did was actually really good and fun, honestly. I really liked it, and it's things that I have done before, but it's also things that I teach my students as well. So it was just awesome to be on the other end of what I've been doing for the past couple of years now, which is teaching, but also to just learn different things.
We're going to have a boxer A and a boxer B, so you're going to know exactly what you do, and you're going to know exactly what your partner is doing, okay? So when we do 10 And we have a boxer A and a boxer B. Who is the drill for? Who's working the drill? Is it A or B? It's B, right? Oh, it's O! Keep those hands up. There. Same pattern. Mix up. Mix it up. Mix it up.
Actually one of the people there with the most experience. I have over 40 fights, and I think the next person with the second most amount of fights there only had 4 fights. So that kind of goes to show like the level of experience that was there. But despite that, I still had a great time, and I might not have looked like it just because I'm just a type of person to just stay by myself. I went by myself, so I kind of just stayed to myself, to be honest, and that kind of defeats the point of me getting out of my comfort zone. But honestly, me just being there was me out of my comfort zone. And side note, today in sparring, I actually did a technique that we practiced in the conference, and I normally don't do it that often, but I remembered it and I was like, oh, I want to do this. It was like catching the punch, catching the jab, and then coming right over the top, and I was like, ooh, I gotta do this, and I tried it and it worked. So it was awesome to do and just see that it worked. One of the things that we learned is that USA Boxing didn't even have women fighting and competing until 1993. 1993. How wild is that? Literally 1 year before I was born is when women were allowed to compete in and for USA Boxing matches. And the most wild but amazing thing about that is that it took a 16-year-old by the name of Dallas Malloy to sue USA Boxing. So the first official female boxing match for USA Boxing was in October of 1993, literally 1 year before I was born. Then it wasn't until 1994 that women's boxing was able to compete in AIBA, which is the Amateur International Boxing Association. We finished the day with athlete career development. What are we gonna do after athletics, right? Everyone says, you know, you can't play a sport forever, right? And you can play it, but probably not professionally. And boxing isn't any different. Over the past few years, I've been developing myself as a teacher and just doing many different things in pursuit of the goal that I have to help people and teach people social emotional skills. In that journey, I've developed Suttles Boxing Academy. So I have a post-work plan, but again, this part of the day was still very, very helpful. How to do an elevator pitch? I can do one now. I have an elevator pitch. I'm ready to pitch in the elevator. Awesome things that we were able to learn by Angel Bovey, who was on Team USA in, I believe, 2001. So in the early 2000s again, in the early days of USA Boxing, of women being in USA Boxing, and competed in the first Women's World Championship. So again, people with resumes about this long and just kind people willing to share their knowledge and help others. She does athlete connections, so she connects athletes with people that may help them in their career. So it was awesome to learn new things and new skills from her as well. All in all, this day was about getting out of my comfort zone. And with that came learning new skills that can help me in both my own training as a boxer and athlete, but also in my teaching as a teacher, coach, and mentor. I was able to meet new people, athletes, and coaches, and make new connections and network. The connections I made with these coaches would not have been possible without me realizing that I'm comfortable and I don't want to be comfortable anymore, wanting to make a change, and this Women's Boxing Development Conference happening pretty much at the same time. That's how life works. Everything happens when it's supposed to happen, how it's supposed to happen, and where it's supposed to happen. I think my Saturday in Atlantic City just is another showing of that.